Alright, welcome back to another Embrace Destiny video, everyone. Kaz PhD waving in here. Apologies for the delay the last few weeks, but I've been sick, and the Xbox has currently updated a little bit, which has made things a little bit more interesting. So it's been, if you're not aware, basically the Microsoft added the Beam function, which is essentially their own version of Twitch, and it's made Twitch a little bit more difficult to run. Anyway, explanation aside, what are we doing here today? Today's video is a quick look at the different currencies in Destiny. I've recently played with a couple of new people, and they are understandably overwhelmed as to what all of these items are, what do they do, how do you get them, why do you need them, and I just thought I would kind of run through them really quickly. So here we are in the tower. The first currency you should be aware of is what is called silver. So like in a lot of games of this type, you can actually put real money into the game. You can deposit real money to Bungie, and they will return that in the form of silver that you can use to buy things in the game. Currently, you can only really buy these items here that are related to the Age of Triumph. I actually have a couple of silver pieces because I've been playing the game for so long. They gave us some as a kind of reward, which is nice. The next item you should be aware of is silver dust. So after they gave... back in one of the events, they had all of these different things that you could buy. You had to use real money turned into silver in the game in order to buy a lot of these items, and people got really upset that they could only collect on the aesthetic item. No, it was pay $5 and get a chance to get this aesthetic item. So they added a new thing called silver dust, which is not store, that can be purchased with silver or with silver dust, can be broken free silver dust that can be used to buy anything here in this little kiosk. So you've got like different engrams, different armor, weapons, different consumables, and different ornaments we're going to talk about a little bit later in the episode. So silver is real money that's turned into silver in the game. Silver dust is the free version that you can slowly collect over time to buy mostly aesthetic things. The next thing on our list, when you go into your inventory screen, you're going to notice a few things. We got legendary marks. So as it says, currency used to purchase legendary gear from vendors in the tower. You can only hold 200 at a time for your entire account. So if you have 3 characters, these values here are shared amongst your characters. You can only hold 200 marks at a time. You gain marks through pretty much any weekly story thing. If you do the weekly story, if you do the Crucible, if you do strikes, you will gain legendary marks for it. You will also gain legendary marks by breaking down purple legendary weapons. For example, let's see. Yeah, I don't really need this machine gun, so I'm going to break it down. Boom. 3 legendary marks added to my tally right here. So what can you do with legendary marks? Well, as they said, you can buy equipment from vendors in the tower. Basically, any of the, Zavala, Cade, Six, Shax, any of those vendors, you can go and use your legendary marks, usually armor and weapon pieces. You'll use them to buy resources, which is the next item we're going to be covering on our list. So if you go to the Vanguard Quartermaster over here, you can actually buy these different pieces down here. Spin metal, relic iron, helium filaments, you can read on. So what are these? These are materials, resources that you can actually buy here or gather on their respective worlds. So the lore explanation in Destiny is that in terraforming the different worlds, due to the Traveler's influence, there's different materials that you can now collect there that can be useful. So spin metal is for Earth, relic iron is for Mars, helium is for the Moon, spirit bloom is for Venus, and worm spore is for the Dreadnought orbiting around Saturn. So what are these for? Why would you want to buy basically any item, armor or weapon piece in the game? Not going to be at your maximum level. So if you're really new to Destiny, basically you start at level 1, Your light is very low. The maximum that either can be is 40 of level and 400 light. And in order to get yourself there, you have to equip higher light weapons and armor. You can take current stuff that you have, as long as it's not really early. In order to upgrade this weapon, I needed, well, in this case, I didn't need any of the helium filaments or anything like that, but oftentimes you do. Well, it's not shown up here, but oftentimes you need those different kinds of resources to actually level up your material, stuff like that. The next thing we're going to talk about is this right here that I saw on my inventory screen, known as Glimmer. So it says it's the currency of the city, and that's pretty useful. If you ever watched Transformers at all, it's a catch-all currency that can be used to buy a lot of things. So here I get weapons, but I can buy them for Glimmer. I can buy vehicles for legendary marks as well. Most not power you can buy with Glimmer, who sells mostly more materials. He's for Glimmer. How do you get? Basically, every bad guy you kill gives you Glimmer. So every you can have a maximum of 25,000 pieces, and then you can use them to come and buy things. So all of this kind of stuff right here leads us to our next item, which is armor and weapon parts. What are they and why do we care? Every time you break down a weapon or piece of armor, you get armor or weapon parts. In order to upgrade those same armor and weapon, you need these parts. So usually you get them by breaking them down, but maybe you're short. Maybe you've been upgrading a lot of stuff trying to get to 400 light. So you can come to the gunsmith here and you can buy these for Glimmer. Next on his list, we've got these heavy and special ammo synthesis. Basically what they are, you can buy them for Glimmer here, or you can buy them for cheaper in the Reef. We'll get to that in a moment. What these do is when you're out in the field, sometimes you need heavy ammo. You need your rockets. You need special ammo for your sniper rifle, and you're just not finding it on the field. So you can basically, if you have one of these in your inventory, you can consume it, and it will immediately refill your weapon with whatever ammo that it's applicable for. These here, these telemetry pieces, what they do is they make it so that whatever slot you're equipping them for, you consume it, and for half an hour, that item, any weapon in that slot will upgrade faster. So you got a new heavy machine gun that you really want to unlock its perks for, pop one of these in, and then basically do anything in Destiny to apply experience, and your weapon will upgrade even faster. That is going to lead us to our next item, which are motes of light, which you're going to see a lot as soon as this loads. Here we go. Okay, right here. Brilliant spark of the Traveler's Light can be consumed to apply experience to your equipped gear. So if you use one of these, it will instantly add experience to everything you currently own, which is great if you're trying to level up a lot of specific equipment at the same time. Motes of Light, how do you get them? Again, you can pretty much get them doing anything. Any Crucible match that you play has a chance of dropping any random item, but sometimes in lieu of an item, they give you a Mote of Light, or sometimes they give you something else, coin, which we're about to get into in a moment. Let's see if I have any first. Waiting on strange coins. Unusual coin, warm to the touch, vibrates gently in your hand. So when you finish different story missions or Crucible matches, you might be instead of a Mote of Light, you might be rewarded with a strange coin. Strange coin is only used with the character Zur. Zur is a non-player character who shows up once a week in the tower and or in the Reef sometimes, and you can buy things from him. What kinds of things? Usually an exotic weapon. I shouldn't have exited the menu, but you can buy an exotic weapon from him or an exotic armor. These are the pieces that are yellow and generally have some interesting perk or trait to them that is desirable. You can also buy what are known as 3 of coins. So I made this joke yesterday, but Destiny has this weird love of numbers. So here's an example for you. You can use 7 strange coins, so 7 of these green babies over here, to buy a 5-pack of an item known as 3 of coins from a character named Zur, who is an agent of the 9. What's either a consumable, and basically if you use one, then the next time you finish a Crucible match or you defeat an Ultra, which is usually a green barred, really large, pain in the butt boss, you have a chance to get an exotic engram. So you pop it, you do a Crucible match, you win, you lose, doesn't matter. You pop one again, and you keep going until you have a better chance of acquiring the weapon or the armor piece. So another thing I wanted to mention before I move too quickly is the things like heavy ammo synths, like I said, can be used to give you heavy ammo in the field, and things like motes of light can be used to upgrade your character faster. But if you align yourself to a different faction in the tower, like New Monarchy, Future War Cult, or Dead Orbit, you have a reputation with them. Basically, doing anything while you are aligned with a faction will increase your reputation with them. And sometimes you want to increase this faster. If you're trying to finish the Age of Triumph book, you need to get rank 25 with each faction. So if you want to quickly burn through that, you can basically bribe your way there through a material exchange. You could donate motes of light, you can donate weapon or armor parts, or special heavy, or the current. I believe that the resource that they use switches every week. I may be mistaken, but you can donate spin metal here. So what I was doing for quite a while was not for New Monarchy, but for a different faction. I had way too many legendary marks, and I didn't have anything I wanted to buy in the tower. So what did I do? I used my legendary marks to buy. In this case, I believe it was Spirit Bloom, and then I deposited it to my faction, and it increased my reputation. Now, let it be known that the greatest rewards for increasing your reputation come from left and proceed down to the right. So you will get a greater increase in reputation from donating a mote of light than you will donating anything to the right of it. All right. He is sitting over here lonely that you may pick up accidentally and have no idea what to do with them. Let's see if he actually shows us today. He does not, because I don't have any. There's a couple of older pieces in the game, usually with names like Etheric Shard, or Etheric Light, or Ascendant Light, things like this, and they are basically items that were in Year 1. There's a divide between weapons and equipment between Year 1 and Year 2 and 3 onward. Basically, the difference is that there's a definite limit to how high light you can actually bring your items. So these items are all 400, but if they were a Year 1 version, they could only go to something like 200. And the etheric shards and the ascendant light, things like this, they would help to raise it up to that. They are pretty much useless at this point, so what I usually do when I get them is I come here, I give them to the traveler, and he either gives me glimmer or motes of light, which I can use in other ways as I've described. I think we're just about near the end. I'm going to make sure I haven't forgotten anything here. Like I said, they do give text details, but there's a lot in this game that is not really well understanding of what these items are and how you can get them. Legendary marks, glimmer, yeah. Oh, another item that I have in my inventory eventually. Here, exotic shards. So, anytime that you break down or armor piece, why would you do that? Maybe you have multiples of them. Maybe you just really know you're never going to use it. Whatever, maybe you don't have any room in your vault anymore. Whatever reason, anytime you you get an exotic shard. Exotic shards can then be used. They need to be used in order to upgrade an exotic piece. So maybe you have a duplicate of an exotic helmet, so you can afford to get rid of one, and you want to upgrade your exotic machine gun that you have. Well, you're going to need an exotic shard in order to be able to do that. That's just a requirement. Another thing you can do is you can come on down here to these giant iPads, and if you've discovered, for example, if you've discovered weapons, they will show up here, and if you want to buy them, you can, but you require glimmer or Glimmer and an exotic shard. Now, I believe if you currently own if you currently own and have the weapon equipped, you don't have to have exotic shards. You just have to buy them with legendary marks. I may be mistaken, but that's another use for exotic shards, is actually basically, I believe if you have the year 1 version, you can buy the year 2 version, or vice versa. So I could buy the year 1 version of Hawk Moon if I really wanted, maybe for my lower level character, in order for her to use it as she levels up. And the same thing for armor on the other side. Next, we're going to talk about, we're just going to quickly talk about these different reputation boosters. They're not exactly they're not a currency, they're a consumable, but you get these a lot through different packages and things like this, and they're pretty easy as to what they do and what they say. You Crucible or Vanguard or Judgment reputation booster, you apply them, you and your fire team increase your reputation gains in those things for up to 2 hours. Unfortunately, there's no faction reputation booster, which is unfortunate. I would really like that myself, but we don't have it. Next, Trials Passage Coins. Okay, most of us have probably heard about the infamous Trials of Osiris. Basically, it's a weekend tournament for only the brave, the lucky, and the bold. So in plain English, what it is it's a weekend tournament, 3 versus 3, survival round. If you get killed, you're dead unless your teammates revive you, and you play the best of 5 rounds, and then you do that 9 to the Lighthouse, which is a really cool area on Mercury that yields not only bragging rights for making it to the Lighthouse, not all of us have, I haven't, but also interesting rewards and stuff like that. The way it works is you go to the reef, you pick up a passage for the Trials of Osiris, and then they're inside the package. You can go into it. It'll appear down here in your inventory. You can select it, and there will be 3 slots that say things like Mercy or First Chance or stuff like that. What that does is it gives you what they call a boon. It gives you basically a blessing or a gift. So you use these coins not to actually purchase the passage into Trials of Osiris, but in order to make the trials a bit easier. So, for example, one of the boon of 5 matches, it doesn't count. And you can apply your passage coins to that in order to make that happen. So it's a bit confusing there, but basically use these passage coins to help your trials be more successful. Next, we've got moldering shards here. They're very unique material. Basically, you acquire them in a couple of different ways, usually doing anything on the Dreadnought, doing story missions, I believe, doing the raid, of course. And the way it works is if you have at least 20 of these, then when you defeat Oryx in the Taken King, if you defeat Oryx in the King's Fall raid, then I believe 2 chests will pop up and you'll be able to benefit from both of them. I have not personally beaten the raid yet. I'm taking my time, but when I do, I'll use these and get more rewards. What else we got? Helium flakes, another material similar to helium filaments and stuff like that. Usually, you can use them. You use them in a couple of specific quests in order to level up your swords. But you also can use them with Eris Morn. She's near the Vanguard. You can go find her, and you can increase your reputation with her. What do they call it? Just Eris Morn reputation? That doesn't seem that original. Crota's Bane. Yeah, so if I wanted to, I could increase it right now by giving her some Hadean flakes, I believe. And let me just make sure. And yeah, I believe that is it. So that is a really quick guide to all the different parts. The last thing I want to mention are these different consumables. Basically, if you want more Glimmer, you can apply some of the, and when you kill enemies of their associated type for the next 10 minutes, you get more Glimmer. So there you go. There's a lot to discover and a lot to do in Destiny, but basically Glimmer as well as buying materials. Materials are important for upgrading weapons. Motes of Light are important for upgrading your character or your reputation. Strange coins are good for buying coins or anything from, and yeah, and passage coins are great for the Trials of Osiris. So Wanted to try and make minutes now. Thanks for your patience. I hope this video, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Obviously, this is a very guide. I will try to leave links and stuff, but if you just wanted to have one catch-all place for new players to check out, so good hunting out there, and may the age of triumph be with you all. See you next time. Bye now.